you've been scrolling a lot on Instagram or TikTok, you've probably heard this narrative.
And if you do something that you love and you have this amazing energy behind it, it's like it makes life so much better. And you can develop something and create a career for yourself out of something that you love to do.
Usually their target audience are people who hate their jobs or they're stuck in their life or career and they just don't know what to do. Desperate to quit my nursing job, I signed up to a lot of online courses, coaching programs, and started so many side hustles on the internet. And in 1 year, I managed to quit my nursing job by becoming a freelance writer after signing up for all these online courses that a lot of the internet gurus have kind of promoted. Except there was one problem. I started to detest writing. Don't get me wrong, there are so many benefits to becoming a freelance writer that I definitely enjoyed. I made my own schedule, I traveled while writing, and I got paid to actually write. To me, this was the craziest part. I remember thinking, you're telling me that I don't have to go to the hospital, go save lives, and get paid. I can just be on my laptop writing and you'll get paid for that. Obviously, not everything comes without cons. So today I'd like to talk about the things that are not usually talked about on social media when it comes to pursuing the thing you love, monetizing your passion, or making money doing the things that you love. I hope that this video serves as a warning sign so that you can think about it before you take the leap to do something that you love. So they're not wrong. You can make money online doing what you love. Before I jumped into the online world, I thought that making money on the internet was a total scam. I didn't have any special skills or talents. I had hobbies like playing guitar, drawing, dancing, but I didn't really know, or I couldn't really see myself monetizing those things or sell those online. So when I found out that my new picked up hobby like blogging could be a new source of income, I was so excited because I was stuck as a nurse and I was gonna do everything to be able to get out. I did everything to be able to turn it into a monetizable passion. I built a daily writing habit, I bought online courses, I even hired a freelance coach that would help me build my new freelance business from the ground up. And not long after that, I was writing for people like Nicholas Cole, Dickie Bush, Sahil Lavinia, Matt Davella in my very first 6 months of becoming a freelance writer. While I was working for this big shots people in the creator economy, I still had this feeling that this wasn't it. I still felt like I was working for other people. I still didn't feel that entrepreneurial spirit that I was craving for. Even though I had this freelance writing business, I still didn't feel like I was working for myself. I still felt like I was working for other people. Just this time I had different clients and they were paying me more and I could earn more in this job. So after feeling like something was up, I started to kind of reassess and really ask myself, what's happening? What is wrong? Why isn't this working? So here's the ironic part about monetizing your passion. You're actually going to spend 20% doing the thing that you love and 80% keeping your business afloat. So for example, in my freelance writing business, this is the workflow that I had when it comes to working with a client. 1, you outreach to a potential client. 2, they say yes to you or they reject you. 3, you come up with the terms and conditions of working together. You decide the pay, how many articles you're writing for them. 4, you start working together. 5, so each project takes about 1 week. Each time I worked on a piece, I was done in about 2 to 3 hours per day. I didn't have any more mental juices and I couldn't really work on other stuff. 6, I do revisions. 7, I send my invoice to them to get paid. 8, I deal with the taxes and other business expenses that I may have used, like subscriptions that I used to get the job done. And 9, repeat the whole process all over again. So that was an overview of what a freelancer's life looked like. And in order to match your full-time income as a freelance writer, you need to actually be working with 2 to 4 clients at a time. Aside from actually writing the deliverables that the clients need from you, you need to be constantly looking for clients so that you have a pipeline of clients so that you can actually maintain a full-time income doing what you love. If you looked at that workflow that I just mentioned, I probably spent about 20% of my time which means couple of hours per day actually writing for a client. And I consider this a problem because when I was in my nursing job, I basically worked in bursts of shifts, so that would be 2 times or 3 times a week. And the other days that I'm actually not in my nursing job, I spent the whole time writing, so I had a lot of time to actually write a lot of personal pieces that I publish on my personal blog or Medium or Twitter. So I had more exposure as someone who didn't depend on writing for income. And working with this awesome client, I still like what I wrote about, but it just didn't feel the same when I wrote about my own stories or my personal experiences when it comes to nursing or personal development and all of that, even though the clients that I was working with were in the same niches. When it comes to deciding whether you should be monetizing your passion, is that the question I would ask is, how much time do you want to spend doing the thing that you love versus how much time do you want to be focusing on the business side of it? Because you have to be able to spend on both things, and you'll have less time doing the thing that you love when you actually turn it into a business. The mental distress that I had when I became a freelance writer after I had quit my nursing job was actually more agonizing than I thought. Even though I knew I could make more money writing than if I had stayed in my nursing job in the long run, if I knew that it would cost my mental health, I felt like I would have rather stayed in a stable nursing job. I was constantly worried, anxious, and felt like it was a never-ending worry because I was always thinking, what if I lose all my clients? What if nobody hires me? And it just felt like it was no longer worth it to go through that process. There are ways to lessen your anxiety or your worry when it comes to being a freelancer or an online entrepreneur, and that's usually kind of diversifying your income. But the problem that I found when it comes to diversifying your income is that you are working more hours. So you were already working full-time hours with your new passion or your business. Now you need to add more stuff into it. So then it kind of defeated the purpose of me chasing or pursuing this dream that I originally wanted. I wanted to work less hours and make more income, and not really the other way around. And even then, I really had very strong fear of running out of money, which, I'm still kind of working on, and I'm sure a lot of us kind of feel that, where even though we have enough, we feel like we will never have enough, and that's something I'm currently working on. But in the end, to me, worrying about money plus not being totally in love with the process was making me question my decision that I thought it was no longer worth it. So after going through this emotional turmoil, that's when I decided that I was going to do travel nursing. And to be honest, it's actually satisfying the balance that I need right now. So for instance, I'm currently off for 3 weeks while I start my next assignment in 3 weeks, and I'll be working for a full 2 weeks or 3 weeks if I decide to extend, and then I'll come back home. So in between this time of working, I'm working on my creative projects, and then on the days that I'm working during my deployment, I'm actually focused on working. This way I feel like I don't have the constant anxiety or worry that I will run out of money. So there's this quote by Derek Sivers that I always try to remember, because he's often asked, how do you balance doing something that you love to making money? And this is what he has to say about it. Don't expect your job to fulfill all your emotional needs. Don't taint something you love with the need to make money from it. Don't try to make your job your whole life. Don't try to make your art your sole income. Let each be what it is, and put in the extra effort to balance the two for a great life. So this begs the question of, is it worth doing this whole thing, or is it better to separate doing the thing that you love and doing the thing that actually makes you money, and keep it in a separate bucket until you can figure out a way to merge them together in a good way? This doesn't mean that I'm never going to pursue my creative endeavors full-time in the future. All I'm saying is that it is so easy to believe everything that you see on social media, but in reality, it's not all rainbows and unicorns when it comes to turning your passion into a career. And sometimes the balance that you and I need is actually keeping the job that we're comfortable with while getting out of your comfort zone with the side hustle that might bring you more fulfillment than the current job that you have right now. And when you you feel like you've found a balance when it comes to making money and doing something that you love, then you can kind of assess whether it's time to take the leap then. On that note, a daily reminder to be kind to yourself and take it one day at a time.